I want to make an opening statement about Forsaken, Piggy, and Flee the Facility. Flee the Facility is inspired by DBD. It's not a DBD copy. It's inspired by DBD. I think. I mean, it's not that similar. So, yeah, I don't know what it's like. I mean, it's a game of its own, really. Same with Piggy. Well, I mean, you could say it's similar. It's like a combination of Bear and Flee the Facility. At least that's what I see. But it is what it is. Well, I mean, a combination of those two games and Granny and Forsaken. I'd like to say, okay, I can't say. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the behavior of one does not determine the behavior of all. In order to determine the behavior of all, you have to observe the behavior of all. Okay, now let's move on to the actual video.
Don't be unreasonable. With all that out of the way, let's get into it. The first gripe I have with Craft's videos is that they're quite inconsistent. For example,
You know what? You're so right. You're so right. Let me go into the comment section. They're probably glazing the fuck out of you, rightfully so. You know what? You're so right. Generators should open up the map and should let you escape. It's almost as if their maps are so small, and the killer would be trivialized. It's almost as if the maps are incredibly small, the generators are easy to complete, and the killer would have literally no time to kill anyone. Oh my god, no shit, Sherlock. Not being rude, but like, you're being obvious. That obviously happened. TQI just left it out because, agenda. Fucking agenda. The fucking agenda. For danger. Okay, let's move on.
in his video titled John Doe, A Masterclass in Mediocrity, he gives these
brainer after he got buffed.
By the way, Lil Bro forgot the fact that Kraft talked about I want digital footprint to have infinite lifetime.
He's the best killer in the game.
Okay, so if he believes John Doe is the best killer in the game now, that means a bunch of the problems he mentioned a month ago must have been fixed, right? Let's look at the changes made to John Doe that made Kraft change his mind. Okay, so did
John Doe get buffed to absurdity? Yes. Should he get nerfed? No. Is he the best killer? Yes. Yes. Should rework 1x be nerfed? No, actually revert all of his nerfs. Same with Nosferatu, and remove the minigame, and make him pull the survivor uncontested, and remove all end lag. Before you say that it's unfair, and that these changes would make him unfair, the end lag would be his wind up. Just so you know. But he wouldn't be able to move until he kicks the survivor. As soon as he kicks the survivor, he gains the ability to move, and he gains speed 1 for like 5 seconds or so, like 6.25 seconds. I don't fucking know.
any of these changes lower digital footprint's wind up? No. What about the fact that you can only place 3 of them? No. What about fixing John Doe being slow?
What about you shut your fucking mouth? I really. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. John Doe's still the best killer, by the way. But do I think he deserves nerfs? No. Strong does not mean overpowered. Strong means usable. Way more than usable, that is. Overpowered means trivializing the other side or something like that. I don't know, man. I'm on crack right now, so yeah. But anyways, John Doe got buffed. Severe buffs. That's all that matters. This guy's gonna be the type of guy to say on the 1X rework, oh god, yeah, 1X buff, 1X rework is too strong, guys. Nigga. No, it isn't. Because we're using your logic here, by the way.
During error 404? Nope. What about making Unstoppable constantly active like before, or at least making it activate more consistently? No. So none of the problems Kraft had with John Doe were fixed between his video where he calls John Doe garbage and his video where he calls John...
He touched up on that briefly. It was a tier list. You take that... Of course, every killer is going to be talked about briefly. It's not an entire video dedicated to one person. Now I'm starting to see why people call Forsaken fans the scum of the earth. John
Doe the best killer in the game. This is already wildly inconsistent,
why.
but let's see what
really
he has to say
why.
about this massive switch up.
This is obviously an extreme turnaround, and I think it's warranted because of two key factors. First off, the buffs.
What do you mean, the buffs? These buffs...
What do you mean? The buffs? Average soldier will love fan, by the way. 3-second cooldown. That's like after the windup is finished, you can actually place another one. John Doe, that's good. You can change the survivors into his digital footprint. Infinite lifetime. Oh my god. That means that the traps won't disappear unless they get triggered, which means you can chase them into the digital footprint and win. Six seconds of seeing survivors through walls is pretty good. The base duration of speed is really good. It's really good. I managed to kill a guest with it in LMS because I cornered him. I predicted that he would use blocks. I intentionally and want him. I used error 404. He parried me. I got the speed boost because I used error 404 and he used parry. I won the round. Now I don't know how I killed the others because low-key they were on crack. There were some crackheads in the streets, no go lie. Unemployed motherfuckers with 25 days, by the way.
Didn't fix any of the things you said made John Doe bad in your previous video.
Digital footprint getting a huge cooldown reduction means you generally get to set up everything faster. Being able to see your own digital footprint traps and how many are currently...
Revert all chance and 1x buffs. Chance and guest buffs. Reduce the potency of Elliot's rush hour to 2 instead of 3.
on the field lets you keep tabs on where...
That doesn't fix anything you previously said.
Okay, let's see the comments again. Oh my god, parried by 4 teams. Oh shit, Sherlock. Again, it's ridiculously obvious. And TQI is just leaving this shit out because he can.
Were big reasons for John Doe being garbage. At most, it could be argued that a shorter digital footprint cooldown helps counteract that long windup, but the windup itself didn't change. You can still only place 3, and survivors will still have the same awareness as before.
Error 404 getting a longer aura reveal time is always appreciated, nothing more, nothing less.
How can you act like a 2-second increase to the aura reveal makes...
Oh, how can you act like a 2-second increase to the aura reveal is really good. 6 seconds is a lot of time, especially in an ASIM like that of Forsaken. How do you not know this? Don't you play competitive league? Oh, when you don't play competitive. Oh my god!
Error 404 acceptable when just a month ago, Error 404's slowing effect is what made you passionately hate this ability. Error 404's slowing effect wasn't changed at all, so why are you okay with it now?
And of course, digital footprint traps getting an infinite lifetime.
Ah, yes. Let's pick out the brief touching up on a character in a video where the video isn't dedicated to said character. Come on, guys. Come on. You should know better than this.
Basically turn the ability into a proper X factor.
In what way does infinite lifetime on traps make digital footprint go from a lackluster ability to an X factor? Like I said before,
In what way does a trap that lasts forever, that is bombable, that gives speed, gives the survivor who triggers this slowness and reveals their aura useful? So useful that it's an X factor. Ah. Play Piggy. No, seriously, I'll play Piggy as Ducky. No, but seriously, come on, guys. Come on. This is just bullshit.
the windups and downsides mentioned a month ago have not changed in the slightest. If anything, these changes to digital footprint were solely quality of life changes, and in no way do they overhaul the
You
move.
know, guys, the 1x1 rework was just a quality of life change. The Nosferatu killer before his nerfs was just a quality of life addition. Take automatically invalid. Take automatically invalid.
Or address any of the issues you hated before. So, we can already see that Kraft's criteria for a character's viability is all over the place. But what he says next, this second reason for changing his opinion, it's the nail in the coffin.
Buffs on
Also, he puts a do not hate disclaimer at the start so that he is so that people don't have can't hate on him, because if they do, can't hate on TQI, can't criticize TQI, because if they do criticize TQI, he can simply point at the do not hate description disclaimer so that he can claim that he made this video with wholehearted. There you go, we know you didn't make this video with wholehearted intentions. You made slop back in the day, and I know it wasn't slop, but it was slop from my perspective, and I do not care what you say, it's slop from my perspective. Not because it's low effort or anything, but what I mean by that is that these videos were just terrible to watch. Not the entire videos, but you get what I mean.
their own can only do
Actually,
so
one of
much
his
in the
most
grand
vocal
picture of Forsaken.
haters back in the day. Well, I wouldn't really say haters, more like critics. And guess what? I was proven right this instance.
Killer metagame, and that's where the second factor comes into play. This tier list, as mentioned previously in the video, is being ranked at an above average skill level for the killer. It's pretty safe to say that if you're at that above average skill level for John Doe, you're going to know the ins and outs on how to consistently get good results when playing him as killer.
Are you kidding me? You could say that about any killer.
So, did you know that he's ranking it on above average skill level?
Of course, someone who has experience using a killer will know the best ways to use that killer. This is such a nothing burger reason for switching up your opinion. There's also just so much wrong with breaking down.
Also, he literally says that about every killer, you know, like every killer in that tier list, but no, you have to pick out the John Doe 6. John Doe, I fixate on John Doe, I go to John Doe, I eat John Doe for breakfast.
Down killers with different skill standards each time. You should always be breaking down characters under the assumption that they're being used by a good player against other good players. If you don't, you can make any character look amazing, mid, or terrible. Put a John Doe against a bad lobby and
He's literally ranking them at with the assumption that the player has an above average skill level. What are you blabbering on? Did you drink? Did you drink fucking Chinatown today? Come on, man, that's too much. Crack. I know it's addicting, but like, come on, man, come on. This guy's on something, man. He's on something. On to something? On something.
Look at that, John Doe is crazy overpowered, but put a bad John Doe against a good lobby and oh man, John Doe must suck. Watching this really felt like Craft
Oh man, I sure can't wait to nitpick stuff a film and the tier list video because I managed his first to attach his self. Come on, guys. Like, come on, bro. This is just bullshit. This is just bullshit. He said that he was ranking them as with the assumption that they're of above average skill level.
was just scrambling to think of reasons for switching opinions, and it almost feels like he didn't have any good reasons in the first place. So once again, I can only
It almost feels like he's ranking them with the assumption that they're an above average skill level.
describe his changed opinion as thoughtless, inconsistent reasoning. While I was writing the script for this video, Kraft actually went on to make a third video addressing John Doe where he tries to further explain why he believes John Doe is not bad anymore. And while I was hoping he'd have some consistent reasoning this time around, Kraft still doesn't explain how John Doe's weaknesses from the Masterclass in Mediocrity video were fixed or at least improved. He just continues to say that Digital Footprint's infinite duration buff, along with the
Because it is! Yes, traps that last for an infinite amount of time are good. Specifically in the John Doe's case. Jonathan Doe is considered the best killer by a lot of people, not gonna lie.
other various buffs are good buffs. And sure, they are good buffs, but for the millionth time, those buffs didn't fix anything that you originally
Look, guys, he's adding a no harassment disclaimer so that when we claim that he is a malicious, hateful force that wanted to attach its malice onto other person, he can say, look at that disclaimer. I am not malicious or hateful at all. Okay, what the fuck am I speaking in that? Well, I mean, like, come on, man. This is just bullshit. How much bullshit could be in this video? I mean, oh man, it can't be that much, that's for sure. Well, I mean, to be honest, he is still pretty good. His second life is very good. It's really good. It's really good. Speaking from somebody who used to play 2-time. And 1x, yes, that combo was obnoxious.
said made John Doe bad. Kraft does bring a new reason to the table, which is that John Doe went from being too honest to being not honest, but he never actually proves this to be true, and it's because it's not. John Doe's traps didn't become more hidden, John Doe's windups didn't get any shorter, and John Doe's sound effects didn't get any quieter, so John Doe didn't become any less honest. John Doe's abilities are still some of the most telegraphed in the game. This video was all just more fluff reasoning for having an inconsistent opinion. There's more Kraft videos that show his inconsistent logic, but I think these 3 videos get the point across. It should be pretty clear that Kraft's opinions aren't built from a consistent system, and might as well be made based on however he's feeling about a character at any given moment. That's a big problem when a lot of people learn about Forsaken's meta from these videos. It leads to unnecessary confusion, disagreements, and an overall lack of real understanding about Forsaken. It kinda kills the whole point of making analysis videos in the first place. Supported by another shoddy reasoning. For example, in his video titled Guest
One of the only points I agree with this guy on. Only because I think that Guest 1337 is the most horrendous survivor and deserved to stay without any fucking buffs. It stayed before the first ever fucking buff. Also revert all slasher nerfs. Revert all slasher nerfs. Revert all slasher nerfs.
1337, a masterclass in mediocrity, he says this about Guest.
How it's unconditionally worse than every other Sentinel in the game.
This is blatantly
How it's
false. Guest has a
unconditionally
laundry
better than
list of
every other
things he's
Sentinel,
simply the best at.
except
He's the
Chaz.
only Sentinel with over 100 base health.
Shedletsky and Two-Time are pretty bad Sentinels, but they're still really good. Guest is one of the two best Sentinels. Is the second best Sentinel, the best being Chance, because he has a ranged stun.
The only Sentinel that has hit priority, the only Sentinel that can fully negate damage with 2 abilities, mind you, the only Sentinel with 2 knockback abilities, and the only Sentinel with 3 team support abilities. To say that Guest is unconditionally worse than every other Sentinel is saying that Guest always does everything worse than other Sentinels, which is completely incorrect.
Guest 1337 is the textbook example.
I actually bought him because his ability to block, his ability to charge, his ability to punch, also his ability to do stuff. A lot of stuff was being done, but you know, it was really good. Okay, what the fuck was I on? Okay. People did get him. Many noobs got him. You can tell that this is the case from the lobbies that I joined. Players with like 7 minutes would join the game, get 520, look at Guest and think, oh yeah, this is the best survivor in the game, and purchase him.
Example of a noob trap.
This is also just blatantly wrong. Guest is not a free character, meaning he's not intended to be used by players just starting the game.
People get 300 cash upon starting a game. Getting 200 cash doesn't take no more than a few hours. This price is so good.
He's also rated a 4 out of 5 difficulty survivor. In other words, there is
Some people thought that the stars meant how good the character was.
absolutely nothing about Guest that deceives new players into thinking he's easier to use or more overpowered than other survivors. Everything in his in-game info is clearly outlined, including the downsides of each ability like receiving slowness 2 for missing a charge and 80% movement reduction when blocking.
You know, if you landed a block, which you didn't, because the killer has a break.
Text exist, guys. Guest, drag block, hitbox abuse, reaction block, prediction block, shutting into the color, back shotting the color, back punch, back block, back everything.
Brain cell and knows how to bait out a block. When going for blocks, you're playing a mental game with a killer, and they're always at an advantage since they're the ones controlling if an attack is being thrown.
Nothing Kraft says here proves that blocks are consistently a wasted effort. Other than raising his voice, his only support for this point is that killers have the
This is what he's gonna say about
advantage by controlling the attacks. But he completely ignores the fact that Guest can react block, drag block, or just predict correctly, all of which aren't nearly as difficult as he tries to make it look. He also completely ignores Block's anti-melee pressure that Guest has for simply having the ability, which not only counters most punishes, but can snowball into a huge time waster against killers that are too cautious with their M1s. Kraft goes on to say that Guest being able to block mass infection and corrupt energy isn't useful just because it doesn't give you the punch and doesn't stop effects like poisoned and glitched. Sure, it doesn't give you a punch, but I tried out competitive Forsaken just to find out.
I'm about to become a hypocrite right now. Just because a good player uses attack does not mean that attack is automatically good.
out that blocking mass infection with Guest is quite common. That's clear evidence that even blocking non-melee punish abilities provides sufficient value to Guest and his block.
The result from this are so-called guest mains throwing themselves at the killer and failing to land a block, dying so early in the match that you could swap them out with one of those clocks that give you extra time in Mario games, and I wouldn't see the difference.
This is what I mean by an appeal to emotion. He takes the time to describe people who are bad at Guest, then uses that as a reason for saying Guest itself has a bad moveset. And since we all have probably seen multiple bad Guest players before, it appeals to our personal experiences. But in reality, any Guest player that does what Kraft is describing is just bad at using Guest, and their skill level says nothing about Guest's moveset. It's like if I said Shedletsky's moveset is bad because I've seen tons of Shedletskys eat chicken mid-chase or slash with terrible timing. That doesn't prove Shedletsky is bad, it just means there's a lot of bad Shedletsky players. Anyways, I don't want to focus on just one video or character for this section, so here's another Kraft video full of meaningless analysis titled Forsaken Survivor Balancing, the two-time problem.
It is absurdly easy to land trick stabs. No guides, no practice. I hit multiple.
In one of my games, after picking up Guest, I managed to land 3 blocks in a row. A few games later, I landed a parry. While you hear me talking about some... I mean, nobody's gonna believe me because it's the internet. Who knows? I might be lying. I might be eating bread. Okay, number 3, yes. And I could have been lying. So let's move on.
My first round, and the rest is history.
Once again, he just raises his voice and makes a point that proves absolutely nothing. Just because you were able to do something on your first round doesn't mean it's objectively easy. You could have been playing against a bad killer or have been naturally good at timing it. On top of that, you provide no proof that this actually happened. If we go with Kraft's logic here, I could just say that on my first round as Guest, I landed 5 parries. Now, I don't have proof, but I'm saying it loudly, so you gotta believe me. Again, even if it really were true, it proves nothing. This logic just couldn't be more flawed.
It is so unfair how you can exploit hitboxes like this with 0 counterplay and 0 stealth required.
Tell me you don't understand two-time without telling me you don't understand two-time. My friend Milcora...
Tell me you're an idiotic, forsaken fun without telling me you're a forsaken fun. Guys, I think Sherlock came out of fiction. No.
is over level 4 at possible, then stab...
Okay, well, don't worry about that, guys. It's just that my siblings are talking with each other. Okay, anyways, moving on. So, an ass slam, or as this user called it, the butt slam, is when you stab in front of the killer, and I don't know how it works, but it works because the Roblox servers think that you're behind them, so you get stunned even though they were in front of you.
as soon as you're positioned.
But I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I like ass slaps. Okay, bro, I don't want to get away. I'm not even monetized. Get a load of this guy. Okay, no, I should not be making jokes.
Correctly. The idea is that the killer will be unable to react fast enough to your change in movement, and therefore won't be able to
Upon 5 seconds, average reaction time 0. Did you remember that most killers cannot react to Zelensky slash?
turn and keep their back away from you in time. There's nothing about that abuses hitboxes. The only reason why some people think it's hitbox abuse is because Roblox has a bad desync issue. This means that sometimes a trick stab that looks completely unfair or illogical on your screen was actually completely fair and valid on the 2x screen. Sometimes it's the other way around, where a stab that looked perfect on the 2x screen was clearly a failure on your screen. But either way, there is no way for a 2x to consistently abuse this desync to their advantage, so it's not hitbox abuse. Craft intentionally uses old Forsaken footage of 2x hitbox desync from back when it was a bigger problem to make it look like it's still that big of a problem, but it's nowhere near that bad in more recent versions of the game. On top of this, Compt is also wrong about a lack of counterplay. There is counterplay to trick stabs, and it's this simple. Don't get too close. If you're the killer and you know the 2x you're chasing has their stab, don't keep them down like a brainless brute.
Alright, let me use slashers don't exist to reach ability or to. Are we serious right now? And the other range abilities aren't even as reliable. Neither of Nosferatu's projectiles can go through walls. And his blood hook goes in front of him. And it's also blockable. No, this projectile can't go through walls. And when it does through the wall, there's only one survivor before making the explosion. The second thing is about the explosion. Cook it. Can go through walls and multiple people, but the hitbox is really small. Gets projectile doesn't do damage. 1x's projectiles are in front of him, even though they can go walls, but kind of knows Project blood hook. It can't be aimed. Oh, it can be aimed. Just wherever your character is looking, and it can't go anywhere like projectiles such as corrupt energy can. Slasher has no fucking projectile.
As long as you don't get closer than your maximum M1 distance, utilize long-range abilities, and stay wary of corners and blind spots, 2x becomes far less powerful than people think. Anyone trying to argue that 2x shouldn't have this type of pressure and chase does not understand how debilitating it is to use a character capped at 80 max health. Besides, every other character in the game has tools in chase, so why not 2x?
Meaning you now have a non-choreographed healing ability that can also stun. Do you see how this is a problem now?
No, I don't see how it's a problem, because it's not. You just dumbed it down to sound more powerful than it really is.
Same guy who used math to calculate the average speed of killers instead of just using the walk speed and sprint speed and measuring those against each other. Or doing the walk speed matters test. But now he just pops out the calculator, does these very calculations, and then, oh yeah, this is the killer's average speed. Are we serious right now?
it down to sound more powerful than it really is. First of all, 2-time stab is choreographed when used as a trick stab. It takes a moment to move behind the killer, and
By the way, less key slash can't be reacted to by most killers. If we do the average reaction time, it's 0.25 seconds, 27 seconds.
that movement is reactable as long as you're cautious. And if you're complaining about backstabs being non-choreographed outside of trick stabs, backstabs have to be designed with a quick windup. Otherwise, getting behind a killer wouldn't even matter.
You know what? You're so right. It's almost as if 2-time should be a counter.
They'd have enough time to just run away. Kraft structures his analysis videos by including a rework section near the end of each video. In these sections, Kraft attempts to offer possible...
Yeah, I agree, these reworks are terrible. So, it takes, reduce the potency of Elliot's rush hour to 2. Make it usable only once. Make Bloxy Colas, give speed 1 instead of speed 2. And there we go.
rework ideas for the characters he's discussing. However,
You're about to ask me. So,
Oh, come. It's gonna take 500 years to reload, cause of...
you're about to ask me. So, Rush Hour is staying restless as a support survivor and having to rely on your team.
so Kraft's first
Oh my god, it's almost as if Dusicard can't zap the killer when he's in cheese, because the killer can sidestep and also he has inline. It's almost as if Builderman and Taff can't set up mid-chase, and it's almost as if Brawl Stars support characters can't defend themselves. Like, are we serious right now? Are we support characters rely on their team because if they could help defend their teams and because if they could support their teams and themselves, it would be bullshit. Especially in a game with 8 fucking survivors.
suggestion is to remove Rush Hour, leaving Elliot defenseless. Kraft's reason for this is that support-oriented survivors shouldn't have good self-defense tools. Interesting point to make, Kraft, but doesn't literally...
Survivalists are meant to survive. Stunners are meant to stun. Supports are meant to support, where in the support section is self-defense mentioned. It got some black powder. The surgeon has the standard saber. The chaplain has the weakest self-defense weapon, and the sapper, well, he has pretty strong tools for some reason.
Literally every other survivor in the game have access to self-defense tools. Dusicr can zap the killer during chase, Taff can utilize his own traps, and Builderman can utilize his own buildings. This would make Elliot the only survivor in the entire game with 0 self-defense abilities. But, you know, let's see what else he has to say. Maybe he replaces Rush Hour with something good.
Introducing my replacement concept for Rush Hour, Soda Throw. On use, Elliot would throw a soda in front of him that will instantly recover 15 stamina to a survivor who comes in contact with it, and another 5 stamina over time. These sodas cannot recover stamina for the Elliot who throws it. After using Soda Throw, it'll go on cooldown for 45 seconds.
Okay, so let's start with the fact that this still leaves Elliot completely defenseless in a one-on-one situation. In a game where targeting and subpar teamwork are rampant, this version of Elliot is practically destined to get stomped in just about every...
So we want to encourage players to be idiots and have their team be stomped into oblivion. And we want to encourage the killers to be so happy. Maybe movie villains who who targets each survivor equally. Are we serious, gang? Is we serious? Insert I show speed trying to not to smile meme. I can't insert it here because yes.
Public lobby. 80 max, so he just throws it a cooldown and end lag adjustment. So to summarize, he analyzes Cool Kid incorrectly, then somehow doesn't even come up with a working solution to a Cool Kid problem that he basically made up.
Cool Kid is weak. He should be buffed.
Something extra I'd like to mention are the occasional bits of misinformation in many of Craft's analysis. They might look like small mistakes.
Oh my god, it's almost as if he doesn't have time to go through the entire fucking script. We write one fucking detail and reread the entire script. It's almost as if he's a human being, which is our human beings, which each make fucking mistakes. Oh my god, proved by 40. No shit, Sherlock.
Mistakes, sure, but if you play a character enough to discuss its game balancing, these types of mistakes should never happen. I've never read out something like Elliot gets 90 base health or Guest has 120 base health.
Because you don't script your well, no, it's not that. You don't talk about survivors in the first. You don't make content like Kraft does. Also, his entire content is revolved around long form Roblox slop content, my nigga. This comment section is stupid. It's stupid. Maybe not the entire, but like, come on. What the? Okay, that's basically it. This is the entire video. 42 minutes of continuous yapping and copying Rager. Definitely.